Hello and good evening. This is Grillenheimer. Doing my old bit. It is late and I'm whispering again. I apologize. But this is about the prospect of coming waves. I kind of wonder if WotC's latest, or Ross, his latest video was more of a heads up instead of more of a what do you think. I kind of wonder if we really are getting location cards. Well, many in the comment section did not like this. I think it could really help the game. I know the game is pretty complicated enough, but I think location cards would really help. And based on that, on location cards, it could affect gameplay. How, to what extent, I don't know. But they also have mentioned a big clue about going back to the roots of G1, back to the 80s. Now, and it's going to be matching and tying in with the Earth Rise, if I'm getting the name right, subtitle, Earthrise toy line, which they need to include cards with the toys somehow, with the card game. So, if we're really going to be pulling more, I'll scratch my leg, sorry, inspirations for the card game from the G1 cartoon or material, I say we go all out with this stuff. I think it would bring in a lot more veteran fans like myself, as if we don't have enough already. Oh, I got a list here. Let me just go down the list. I don't want to be just sitting here going for 15 minutes. Torque. I want to see Torque in some way or another. He was silly and kind of stupid looking in the cartoon, but the idea behind Torque is very real. It was, we had Torque and Transformers. Then you had the villain in Tron. Then, of course, the corporation in Terminator. Torque may have been the first. I can't remember what year Tron came out, but Torque could have been before all that. And he could be an action card or a location card or a character card of some sort, but he wouldn't transform. He's just a face. He's just a computer, so probably a battle card, I guess, in some way. Crimzeek would be an amazing battle card, to where you would think Crimzeek would tap an untapped opponent's character, or even one of your own if you wanted to. I guess you could, choose who you wanted to tap. Therefore, making sure your opponent doesn't get an extra turn. That the untap phase comes quicker, or something along those lines, kind of like the EMF card. Then there's Scraplets. Scraplets could be an easy action card. Now, going even further, I'm not just talking about wave 5, I'm talking about future waves. I'm sure we will end up seeing combiners come back again, because we only have Minosaur, Devastator, we have the Sentinels, which were not original, we have Volcanicus, which was not original, we have the aerial bots that would make Superion, and I think that's it. No, and Pretty King. So I really think we could see combiners maybe in wave 2 of Earthrise. that would just seem to fall in place for the first 4 waves to the next 4 waves, where wave 5 could be like the next wave 1 going back, wave 6 bringing back combiners, and seeing a pattern. And by wave 6, if they wait that long and we get more combiners that really utilize a lot of the new bravery, focus, pierce, and plan, all these more than just bold and tough that we kind of had during. And well, we did have bravery, and the opposite of that a little bit, so, not of those abilities, but not all for wave 2. Now, I'd really like to see Scraplets. And we could have a variation of all the different variations of Scraplets we've seen through the years, but my favorite were from the comic, because they look like nuts and bolts. And even those Scraplets, if I remember correctly, even combined and made this big, huge monster-looking thing that attacked Blaster and Bumblebee, if I remember correctly, as well as all the little Sharkticon-looking Scraplets from Transformers Prime, and they grew into one big one also. So we could easily have Scraplet combiners. That would be interesting, to where you could have some sort of a water card or some sort of battle card dealing with water to help wear them down quicker than just attacking them. To where it would take a lot of heavy pierce, as well as something else to help bring them, really bring them down. You would think something along those lines. The Scraplets would have a lot of health. I've got a huge list here. I've got to go quicker than this. I'd like to see more of the original female Autobots. We did get Chromia. We have Alita 1. We do have RC. And we got some new ones. So that's great. But I really want to see Firestar and, some of the other girlfriends from, season 2. And Orion Pax would be a cool card to have. What about the Constructicons before Megatron turned them? Like a good Constructicon deck. And I've already mentioned the Protectobots and the Combaticons. Of course, I didn't even touch on the Terracons or Computron or those. The 86 movie characters. That's, and we already have a Hot Rod, but I would love to see more Hot Rods. We have, 5 or 6 Bumblebees? Let's get some more Hot Rods out there. Cyclonus, Scourge, Rekgar, Wheelie, the Quintessons. And this is when I started getting into location cards. Now, they sort of tease that they would like to do Unicron, but they don't know how. And then WotC had his most recent video about location cards and what we would think. And I'm like, I played a little Pokemon with my kids. I'm not that big into the game. I didn't really care for the show at all, but I had I think I had Pokemon Yellow. I might even still have it for the original Game Boy. And it was okay. I never made it to the end. Didn't have that much patience. I wanted to play a real RPG like Lunar or Chrono Trigger or Legend of Legaia or Wild Arms or Final Fantasy or Grandia or something, not Pokemon. But it was okay for what it was. But yeah, Unicron may be the only way we could see him would be with a location card. On the outside of Unicron in planet mode, fighting on the outside of him in robot mode, fighting on the inside of him in planet mode or robot mode, parts of him inside of Unicron, having your battles. Location card. Oh, okay. Or a planet location card of Unicron, where maybe in like less than 4 or 5 turns or less, it would KO one of your opponents. Just boom, like suck him in, he's gone, kind of thing. I would love to see a leader Ratbat standard card. And we need a broadside. We don't have broadside. We got all the other triple changers, but we do not have broadside. And, there is Tidal Wave. We had Tidal Wave in the Armada trilogy. So he was a boat or nautical thing, just like and Broadside was. He had a boat mode. And I wouldn't call him a boat, but he was an aircraft carrier. A floating or a water transformer, which we have few of. So, in speaking of leader Ratbat, we have leaders on both sides. We even have, I think, one of our mercenaries as a leader. We need more leader battle cards, upgrades. All we have is the Matrix. That's it. We need some other stuff. I don't have the King Starscream card at all, so I don't know because that was just an SRT, so I don't have it. But sorry, big head syndrome. Sorry about that. But I'm trying not to whisper too much, so that's why the phone's so close to my face. Whoa, I'm so sorry. I found my camera. And some people were saying, oh, well, there's just not enough locations, classic locations for this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. We just don't have enough. Yo, yes, we do. I'm going to go through this, and this is just a small list of things that I could remember right now before I hit record. The Ark in space, the Ark on Earth crash landed, the Nemesis in space, the Nemesis underwater, outside the Nemesis underwater, Cybertron, the surface of Cybertron, the insides of Cybertron, the depths of Cybertron, the center of Cybertron with Primus's face, cities of Cybertron like Iacon, for example, the Well of Souls, Prime's statue holding the 2 discs, or the surface of Cybertron with Megatron's head floating above it, or the head of Unicron would be an awesome location card. The Predacon, I said the Predacon Funeral Grounds. I forgot what that was called in that little movie that extended Transformers Prime, where that was all, the Predacon remains. And they found a few. Wheeljack's lab, the Cybertron's moons. They had 2 or 3 moons. Unicron swallowed 2 of them. The female Autobots' hidden base, the Decepticons' burial chambers. Remember the episode where Starscream possessed Scourge, and Octane went in there to try to hide out. Starscream's throne room. Really wouldn't call it a room. It was outside because Galvatron came in, transformed, and blasted him, right out of the movie. The chamber of Vector Sigma, the highways of Cybertron, the flyways of Cybertron, the 6 lasers over Cybertron, then places on Earth, like the city where the Decepticon parade took place, or the Autobot parade took place, the football field where they held court, and the football field, they even had a football field where the triple changers took over, and they were shooting the score to say that they were winning the battle between the Autobots and Decepticons. The different space bridges. We had the space bridges in G1 are different from the space bridges in animated or even TF Prime. Sherman Dam, that's classic. The Moon, Our Moon, the Oil Rig, where we first saw them interacting with Spike and Sparkplug, where they found them. Metroplex. Yeah, we have the character card, but what about Metroplex as a location, like in the movie? Fortress Maximus as a location, a mall for a location, like the comic. Remember the black guy, and he had the personalities of some of the Autobots stuck in like remote control cars. That, and I forgot who was going after them in the mall, Shockwave or Ratbat, something like that. And of course the desert, which was very common. And I'm sure I could come up with even more. I even just remembered after the big fight, near the very end of the whole comics, it was Buster, or was it Spike? That was the head of Fortress Maximus, and they landed in the snow and had the big battle with Galvatron near the end of the original 80 comic run. And then there's New York, and then even in the cartoons they had the whole sewer bit with the Alligatorcon and all this. There are all sorts of places in the show, in the mythos, in the universe, not even including the live action stuff. I even wrote down earlier on a previous list Lincoln's Memorial. Yeah, you saw that in Dark of the Moon, but it came from G1 first, because the G1 Megatron took off the Lincoln Memorial and sat down in the seat. It was hilarious. Not to even mention all the places Thripticon went and stole the other countries' memorials, including he stole the Kremlin. He went to France and stole the Eiffel Tower. He stole a few other places. Then there's the whole Carbamia joke, and that little country, which was made up. It really was made up. They were making fun of the Middle East, but it was made up. I don't know if we'd want to put that in the card game or not. An idea. It's there. But all sorts of stuff, all sorts of things. And that's not even really getting that much into Armada, Rid, Robots in the Skies. Yes, they're two different cartoons, if you didn't know that already. Beast Wars, Beast Machines, which I've kind of touched on a little bit, as well as just and a lot of stuff from the comics. And I have not even barely read the IDW comics because I don't have the money, I don't have the time. I did read the DW, the Dreamwave comics, and a little bit into the IDW, and that's about when I stopped. No, I actually stopped when they finished the story arc for the last 20 issues of the original Marvel run, and went from 81 to 100, if I remember correctly. And I haven't really read much since. So, just a lot of possibilities. We could do so much more with this card game, and I myself have, even with the amount of stuff that I have, we've barely scraped the surface of the magnitude of material that we have with Transformers. So, with that, I better call it a night. Thanks for watching. And this is all, just speculation and talking. And I've had a video like this before. It's been a while. Since probably before Wave 2 or 3. And I really didn't do much with the build-up of Wave 4 at all. But that's all I have for tonight. I have been working on my characters some more. And I've actually gone back and listened to a lot of my videos. Boy, I didn't know how to play the game at all, did I? and I made a special playlist for just videos where I really highlight the Spetabots because they are going to come back. I think they're going to look pretty good. They're coming back. So get ready. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. And until then, roll out.